Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by once again, man. Hey, proudly Motherlandian, we here, man. We talk about issues affecting the continent of Africa. You feel me? Man, if this is your first time seeing this face, they call me Mr. J Motherlandian, living out in the diaspora, and I do drop vlogs every now and then talking about issues affecting the continent because yes, I am a true son of the soil. You feel me? Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's been this video that's been trending online, man, after the recent get-together in the Ecowas. Some people call it Ecowas. You can call it Ecowas, you can call it Ecowas. And if you don't know what Ecowas is, Ecowas is the Economic Community of West African States created to promote and to uplift the standard of living among citizens of these West African states and to promote economic, well-being. And of course, you know that some of these states in Western Africa are former French colonies. And wherever you have a gathering of former French colonies, of course, there is the godfather behind it, France doing everything, man. But before we do get started, it was definitely going to be a pleasure for you to join the channel. I mean, let's get into it. Let's not talk too much, man. This is something that it's really disgraceful. And let's get into it and let's break it down. Let's go, man.
The presentation was given by someone who provided important and interesting elements that I find reliable. The figures might be excellent, but the political vision is catastrophic. If I respect the figures, I cannot respect the vision of UNDP. Let me explain why. The title of the document presented is The State of Poverty and Inequality in West Africa.
The state of poverty and inequality in West Africa. By the way, I don't know who this man is, but he is from Senegal. The country that recently voted one of the youngest presidents. Yes, you guys know all that history. But this man is trying to stand up and talk about something which he read, now I don't know what position he holds in Ecowas, but the fact that he was there, it tells me that he is definitely part of Ecowas, and he's trying to ask a question. Let's get into it. Let's get into it and see why.
In reality, the title should be The State of Impoverishment and Inequality in West Africa.
True.
As long as they continue to say poverty, they are not supporting the exit from underdevelopment. We are among the richest countries on the planet.
True.
Saying West Africa is poor means these people are part of the problem.
I support this man. The West has always tried to paint Africa as a poor continent. But we all know that Africa is one of the richest continents on earth. Look at all the industries around the world, the big industry, telecommunication, the car, man, whatever it is. Raw material for these industries is found abundantly in Africa. And we all know that the West, through some of its actors, especially France and the allies in the European Union, they have made it such a way that Africa should look like a poor country. And we having the reawakening, man. A whole lot of these African countries are waking up. Senegal is one of these. Let's go.
It is impoverishment. But why don't they dare say impoverishment? Because those who have impoverished Africa are our presidents.
He nailed it, man. Africa is not poor. Those who have made Africa poor are the leaders. Bad governance. And who are those backing some of these bad leaders in Africa? Of course, the European Union. Look amongst former French colonies, French-speaking Africa. We have people that have been in position for more than 40 years. And who's still backing these people, giving them relevance? Of course, the European Union, especially France. You see how it plays into perspective? Yes, this man is, these are the type of people we need to be voting into position. People who can concretely question the status quo. But let's get into it and see, man. Let's go. Let's talk.
We need to control our language.
Sorry, I had to pause it. First of all, the fact that they muted his microphone, and then the fact that somebody up there is trying to tell another person to control his language. Of course, this is a clear citizen from a French-speaking colony, and we politically elite. That's what they don't like when you question them. She's talking about control your language. This man is saying that the whole purpose of that article that came out, and he's questioning because you cannot say West Africa is poor because we have natural resources in abundance in West Africa. Now, the people who have made these countries poor are actually the leaders. And because some of you guys don't want to question these bad leaderships, that's why these people are poor. The country is not poor, the people are poor. Think about it. Think about it. And she comes up. Control your language.
We need to control our language. The term is impoverishment, not poverty.
In an effort to maintain order, officials abruptly cut off the Senegalese speaker's microphone, sparking outrage and further chaos among the members.
Why do you cut off the microphone of somebody speaking? Because you don't like what they are saying. Yeah, Ecowas is pretty much in the hands of former French colonies because we have despots in position in that part. You know, let's not start pointing fingers because we all know. You feel me? Let's get into it. Let's get into it, man.
As the argument ensued, the situation grew increasingly volatile. The spotlight shifted to the Senegalese speaker, who appeared to be making a compelling case about the root causes of poverty in West Africa.
So, is it an insult to say that our presidents have impoverished us? That's not an insult. This is the reality. But because some of these people in attendance were nominated by some of these presidents, they don't like, you cannot insult my boss. So you better watch your language. This is the story of French-speaking Africa. This is what has been happening in French-speaking Africa for decades. And that is where we are today. It's terrible. It is terrible, man. And the man he's standing on his words. I mean,
if we change the way we speak, we acknowledge who is responsible for our situation. If you don't control your language, I will withdraw your speech.
That's crazy. Why are the other people not standing and backing this man up? That is my... How can you say if we change the way we speak, we will acknowledge? No, we need to call a spade a spade. This is our problem. I'm talking about this is our problem because I'm a citizen from a former French colony, which is still kissing ass to France. This is the situation. Unless we start asking these questions, I'm afraid we're not going to change.
The freedom of words does not mean you can say anything. Control what you say. You cannot address heads of state as if they are your friends. In this parliament, you must address heads of state with respect. The session is suspended.
Typical French-speaking African politicians. They think that the head of states are demigods. Of course, she was nominated by one of, Ivory Coast, man, Côte d'Ivoire, called in French. This is a typical political elite from French-speaking Africa. They think that people need to kiss their asses. Now, this is somebody trying to speak. You see the guy in the middle? I bet you he's understanding what is happening. But you see women? You see that's how they are. Across, show me any French-speaking African country in Africa, and I will tell you exactly that the political elites are a mirror reflection of each other because France is making them think that they are both the citizen. You feel me? I don't know why she's standing up. She's saying this session is suspended because this man is questioning. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's really terrible. I don't even know what to say, but it is disgusting to see that we have this type of situation going on the continent where we are supposed to be evolving. We are supposed to be changing our stance on a whole lot of things, but it's horrible. address the head of states, they are not your friends. Who votes these people into position? Citizen. So they work for the citizen. But of course, we all know the ladies, she's just trying to protect her boss. It's crazy. It's crazy. This woman is a disgrace. Where is she trying to go to? Like, she's trying to go fight this guy? This is a disgrace, man. But this is what, the political elite in French-speaking Africa is all about. That is what it is. What is she trying to do?
La séance est suspendue. La séance est suspendue.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's the Ecowas parliamentarian. What was she trying to do? Like, what's her name? My people from Ivory Coast. What is the name of this lady? We need to talk about these type of people in Africa. These are the people who think that we are supposed to be where we are supposed to be. Man, that's my time, man. I'm not going to talk a whole lot, but we all see how it is when it comes to people who speak the truth. And the fact that she was trying to go over and do something, that man would have smacked the ish out of her and, rebooted her system to think right. But of course, we all know that they are ass-kissing to the political elite in Ivory Coast. It is a disgrace, man. I don't want to get into the whole fact that the current sitting president of Ivory Coast was a former rebel, who was accepted by France and is projected, we don't want to go back and forth with this. But this is a typical French-speaking African politician. I want you to leave your comment. Citizen from French-speaking African countries, man, do leave your comment. Let's see exactly what is happening. And to my opinion, though, that man is from Senegal. And Senegal is taking a new direction in terms of its relationship with France. Senegal needs to quit this nonsense because this organization is a shit show. I'm out of here. Be good, man. Peace.